In the Rajasthan desert, the village of Kalisar exists in two worlds. By day, it is a cluster of ordinary homes. By night, it is a void where all sound and movement stop, as if the town itself is holding its breath. The survival of the village depends on one specific protocol. If exactly 3 knocks hit a door at midnight, the inhabitants stay silent. They know that whatever is standing on the other side is not a neighbor, and it certainly isn't human. Vivek, a journalist from the city, arrived with a camera and a notebook to document the mystery. To him, these stories are artifacts of a pre-scientific era, tools used by elders to maintain control over the young. When the elder Ram Singh warns him to stay inside, Vivek laughs. He sees a direct conflict between the old man's fear and his own objective reality. He promises that if anyone knocks, he will look them in the eye. This friction defines the danger of Kalisar. The entity doesn't hunt the fearful who hide behind their doors. It waits for the visitor who believes their own logic is a shield against the dark. Midnight at the village inn. The desert wind is loud enough to rattle the window frames, blowing sand through the cracks in the floorboards. Then the 3 knocks arrive. Vivek assumes it's a local trying to scare the city boy. He pulls the door open to catch the prankster, but finds only the empty street and the shifting dunes. The next morning, Vivek reports his victory to the village. Instead of relief, he sees terror. Ram Singh realizes that by opening the door to find nothing, Vivek has actually let the presence in. The next night, the knocks return, but the geometry of the sound has changed. It isn't coming from the street. The sound moves from the interior walls to the ceiling, eventually stopping directly behind Vivek's head. Opening the door wasn't a physical error. It was a surrender of the boundary. Once Vivek abandoned the caution of the village, the curse stopped being an external legend and began the process of dismantling him from within. A faceless shadow appears in the room, claiming its prize. It tells Vivek that because he opened the door, he is now destined to become the door. This biological curse functions as a parasite. The breach requires a defiant host, willing to step over folklore boundaries, inviting the parasite. During assimilation, the entity overwrites the victim's identity, ensuring the cycle begins again with a fresh face. Vivek flees on a bus, convinced he is leaving the desert behind. He takes a breath of relief until he looks at the back seat and sees the shadow waiting for him. The shadow smiles, and the bus suddenly swerves. It careens off the desert road, vanishing into the dark. The entity consumes Vivek's identity. His skepticism provided the exact opening the parasite needed to finish the transfer and find its new form. Months later, the inn has a new guest. A traveler from the city, carrying the same confidence Vivek once had, settles in for the night. It is midnight, but wind is howling. And then there are 3 knocks on the wood. The traveler opens the door. Outside stands a man with a blurred, fading face. He looks familiar. He asks, "Can I come in? I am Vivek." This is why no body was ever found at the bus crash. Vivek didn't die. He was integrated into the very structure of the Kalisar legend. Folklore warnings are not bedtime stories. They are ancient security systems. They record a community's long-term survival against things that logic cannot explain. When we use modern arrogance to bypass these warnings, we do more than just invite our own end. We provide the replacement parts the nightmare needs to haunt the next generation.